Hello everyone, Mrs. Combs here and Pascal. We are here to teach you about the bones that you are going to need to know for this unit. There are 206 bones. Thankfully, you do not need to know all of them. And for some of them, you just need to know the groupings of them, which should make it a little bit easier. First, we're going to start out with the axial skeleton, and then we'll move to the appendicular skeleton, okay? Alrighty. First bone that you need to know is right up here in the front of the skull, called the frontal bone. Okay, moving on down, we have this big bone in through here, the mandible or the jawbone. Okay, moving on down, this bone in through here is the sternum. Okay, and the sternum is attached to the ribs via the cartilage in through here within the ribs. Okay. Turn around. Thank you. These top 7 bones in through here that make up your neck are called your cervical vertebrae. Moving on down, the next 12 bones in through here that attach to your rib bones are your thoracic vertebrae. And moving down even further, we have 5 bones in through here called our lumbar vertebrae. This area in here is 5 bones that are fused together, known as your sacrum. And this little area down here, I don't know how well we can see it, are 4 bones fused together called the coccyx, or commonly known as your tailbone. Okay, so those are the bones that we need to know for the axial skeleton. Let's talk about our appendicular skeleton, and we're going to first talk about the upper body, the arm and the shoulder girdle. So this bone here is called the scapula, commonly known as your shoulder blade. Okay. And this bone here is called your clavicle, commonly known as your collarbone. So for all of those athletes in the room, if you've heard about an AC joint separation, okay, that is this joint right here. The acromion process of your scapula and your clavicle come together to form this AC joint. And if it separates, it's a very painful injury and something that takes a while to get over. Okay, this long, big bone in the arm is called the humerus bone. Moving on now. And then we have our radius and our ulna. So it's hard to kind of remember which one's which, okay? If you're looking at Pascal's arm here, it's turned like this. His hand is in the supine position, or his forearm is in the supine position. When you turn your palm down, like up and down, this bone right here radiates over the other one. So this bone here is called the radius, okay? And the other bone in your forearm is called the ulna. So something else to think of if you have a difficult time remembering is this part of our elbow that we bump our elbow on, that's part of that ulna bone, okay? So if you see a structure and you see this bone here, and are trying to figure out what it is, that is the ulnar bone, okay? When we're talking about the wrist, all we need to know is that this grouping of bones in here are called the carpal bones. You don't need to know any additional names of these bones. And then in through here, this first set of long bones within the hand are known as the metacarpals, and those are actually the bones that lie within our palm, okay? When you move down to your fingers, okay, so beyond that first set of long bones, into the next 3 sets of long bones, those are referred to as our phalanges, okay? That is our upper body. Let's move down. Back up, Pascal. Let's see what we got. Okay. So this here, sorry, camera angles, we need to know that this is our ilium, okay? If you recall from our abdominal regions, we called this part here the iliac crest, and this bone right here is the ilium, okay? We need to know that bone. There's other things that make up this hip socket itself, and that's the pubic bone, the pubis, and the ischial tuberosity, but we don't need to know those for this. We just need to know up here is the ilium, okay? This big bone here, longest bone within our body, hide your arm, Pascal, is our femur, okay? Longest bone in the body. The bone that is in the front of the knee, commonly known as your kneecap, is called your patella bone, okay? We will back up even further. This weight-bearing bone, your shin bone down in your leg, is your tibia. The bone on the outside that makes this little outer nub of your ankle, this lateral nub, your lateral malleolus, this bone is your fibula, okay? Now, just like in the hand, we do not need to know all of the bones of the ankle. We just need to know that these bones are collectively referred to as the tarsals, okay? Then your first set of long bones in through the foot, which are right in through here in your foot, are known as the metatarsals. And then once you get down into the toes, those are called your phalanges as well. I hope that that was helpful for you. See you in class.